you've done so many the Khiladi series with Akshay Kumar, and now it's Ajay Devgan.
He's done the Khiladi series. I've just done one film with him.
Okay. So is this a new pair coming? Have you and Ajay Devgan?
Well, no, I don't know, but it was great fun doing this movie. And somewhere, if you talk about some sort of chemistry or something, I guess our personalities are different, so something works, it seems, which happens to suit this film.
What kind of role do you have in this film?
I'm playing a Hindu boy, which is a subplot. It's not really an important issue. Who is working for, he's into advertising and he's into the commercial world, so to speak. And I mean, without getting too much, without trying to give away too much of the story, I think the film revolves around, not revolves around, but part of the film is how this boy changes his outlook because of, in fact, his half-brother makes him change his outlook in the most unconventional way.
Do you have a serious role for Ajay, or is it just comedy?
Well, it's not just I think the director and I discussed at the beginning of the movie that for a change it would be nice if the comedy was situational, as in things happen which are funny, but he doesn't necessarily act silly in order to make things funny, which is certainly a change.
So what about you starting with Namrata for the first time probably?
Yeah.
So how was it acting with?
Very nice. I've worked with her sister also, and she's a professional girl, and she's good fun, and everyone in the film's been really nice working with.
Forthcoming releases?
Well, I think next film after Kache Dhage will be Arzu, which if it does well, Vikas Mohan will be really happy, and and
okay,
other films to come after that.
Acting under him.
It's a very awful experience, acting under. No, well, I mean, I respect this director tremendously. I mean, not only is he doing his sort of first movie, but I've always thought he's a cross between the old school of makers and the new school, taking the best from both departments. He's adventurous enough to try new things. I remember on the sets, he would always say, "Don't say this line like this because that's common, or it's slightly filmy." So he wanted to steer away from that. Yet at the same time, not just a technician who wants to take funky shots and stressing a lot on the story and the script. And I think both characters in the film are kind of both part of his personality also. So it was easy, really.
Thanks.
Thanks.
That's what I'm saying, at least he's there. It's a joke. Well, let's have a drink. Where's the bar? No, it was then. That's why I think we tried 3 but it's stabilized. It's okay. It's so here we are. Why don't you just get some air? Good for it. Good. Majorly spiked. I did see. Should I help you? I was just... No, actually it's September. The days gap.
It's always closed. Our timings never seem to.
ये वाला कवर हो रहा है सुनील मान ले
यार मेरे को थोड़ा सा नीचे कर दे, एक बार नीचे कर दे।
एक मिनट
भाई मेरे को एक बार नीचे कर दे।
चाहिए क्या ये ले हो गया
You are the only one who had
ओके सुनील
I asked her to get me a drink, she started crying and then come back again. I really like it, sounds great. Let's not discuss that in the further. Next thing, have you had
When was this? Recently?
Okay, do you guys know Yeh Dillagi is being shown at the Bombay International Film Festival? Saif?
Didn't know that.
Now I do.
You told me.
No? Why not?
Just.
I think they are too busy after hit of Dil Lagi. They have signed too many films now and they don't know anything about what is happening around them.
So how did you manage this crazy trio in your film?
Very difficult.
Very difficult.
He was just saved from going to the Thana lunatic asylum. Just barely.
Saif?
Yeah.
I mean, how did you relate to your director? Was he okay?
Every time, same way I had to narrate the scene to him the way he's reacted to you now. He used to react it the same way and I had to explain him 3 times.
No, in fact, you were, I remember, it's been so long, it's been a long time.
Yes,
a lot has
long
happened
time
since
actually,
then.
yes.
But it was your first movie.
Yes.
And he used to keep telling us that. And he used to say, you know, I need your help. And we'd look really scared after that. Can't believe he said that. And generally it was, I mean, he was totally in charge. He got what he wanted. He made sure of that. But the atmosphere was
like
quite...
It was very open. Like
Yeah.
we were allowed to do whatever we wanted. But there were no restrictions. There was nothing that we had to. There were no limits
Except what he
or
didn't
anything.
want.
Yeah, but
And what didn't he want?
bad work, definitely.
Akshay, was this film a big change for you? Was it a departure from your normal action hero stuff?
Yeah, I'm going to say from this movie only, I got this image of, I came out of that action image. Thanks to Naresh ji and Yash ji to ever think about I could do that role.
So what did you feel about the scene where you get wet and dance? I mean, did you enjoy it? Do you like wet dances, rain dances?
I came back to my normal self, I would say. I love dancing, that's no doubt about it. And especially when Sarojji choreographing it and a dancer like Kajol, mind blowing.
Okay, enough now. Okay.
Kajol is a good dancer.
Akshay? He's technically perfect.
Yeah.
Technically
And Saif?
perfect.
You better answer that question.
Saif is like old wine.
That's well put, thank you.
Saif, what about the Ole Ole number? I mean, you're identified with that song now.
Right. We heard the song in Simla. It was recorded much before the film
Yeah,
started.
in your room, remember?
Yeah, and we used to
Right,
we
first
play
time.
it constantly.
Start
on
dancing,
the,
everybody I think almost.
The
on
first
the
day I
Nada,
think so we heard
used
it,
to
we
play
liked it.
Yeah, and we used to, I mean, all knew that it was a great song. And in fact, Naresh every now and then kept telling us that this is going to be picturized at the end of the film and you better work hard and stuff. I rehearsed quite a lot. And, but by the time we got down to doing it, it was more, I mean, everyone knew it was going to do well, the song. It was just a question of how well I could do it or how well it could be shot. It's lucky to have that. I mean, it was almost taken for granted that light men up there were humming the tune in between shots. It was more scary shooting it because there was a lot of expectation. But
What about the footwork? I mean, how do you do that? Was it sort of
if you see the
tricky?
song, it's not actually that complicated,
Do it.
as one might. to it, as one might have thought. It's not that complicated. But for me, it was difficult because prior to that, I really hadn't done any sort of, what I had done hadn't been very good. So that was lucky, you know, get a great song like that, which I think anybody could dance to, really. I mean, it's hard not to enjoy it, put it that way.
And Kajol, what about that Hotope song? Did you feel sort of seductive while doing it, or?
I've never been drunk in my life, so I don't know what the feeling of actually being drunk is like. But I think I just followed Suroji to the T, that's all. That's all you can do, actually.
And Naresh, what about scenes which were complicated, like the climax? Did you find any problems handling it? How did you go about it?
It was a little difficult actually as far as climax was concerned, because we had thought of the climax basically right there in Simla itself. We were working on it already earlier in Bombay, but there was some confusion and there was some work left actually. And I must say thank you to all my stars, all my actors. They really helped me out in everything, not only in their roles which they have played in the film, but also in scripting and working hard on the scenes, giving suggestions and everything.
Thanks, Nuri.
So I'm really thankful to every unit member, including all the technicians and everybody. They really all helped out.
Now, how does a film like Yeh Dillagi in a festival help you or not help you? Is it important?
Well, one feels happy definitely. Being my first film and coming into a festival is really, as far as I am concerned, is a happy occasion. But I don't know, commercially, it is already done well. So whatever the actual things were, I mean, we have all, I think,
as
happy
far as
about the film.
financial aspect is concerned.
That's all. There's no problem of getting films or doing more films or anything like that. The important thing is to do such good films like Dillagi.
Do you ever want to be off mainstream in the main section of the festival instead of being in this sort of mainstream, make a serious into quote mark film?
Actually, I have never thought of it, but I can make any kind of film, that I'm sure of. And maybe one day when I get time for those things. Because it's important to be commercially good also. It's actually more difficult to make a commercial film than to make a kind of other serious film.
And Akshay, what about, say, the emotional aspect of this role? Did you find it a bit demanding on you since you've always been a tough guy? I mean, did you have to fall a bit in love with the Kajol character, with Sapna?
Well, as I told you earlier, thanks to Nareshji, I mean, to think that I could do well in this role. I mean, it was, for me, it was a little bit difficult because I've never done this kind of role. And but everything went out very well. He used to explain me to so nicely, and it had become a very easy thing for me to do it.
How's the chemistry between you and Saif? Are you competitive, or sort of wondering whether he'll steal the scene? And
no, we don't have that kind of thing that he steals.
Saif?
Honestly, I mean, obviously there is bound to be competition, but I think it's of the healthiest sort. There's no point working. I mean, I'm not openly going to do anybody a favor I work with, unless it's contributing to the scene. I think it's nice if two people work together and they, slightly worry about themselves. At least I do when I work with him. I do worry about myself, and but somewhere I think being basically fond of each other and enjoying working together. I don't think we would, put it this way, I don't think we would enjoy working together if there wasn't any competition.
So do you think
but it's not the healthiest sort. I mean, nobody, I don't think, plans or plots or does sneaky things and takes or anything like that.
Kajol, did they do anything sneaky to you?
Like what?
Like, try to dominate the scene. Come on.
No, they didn't.
She does sneaky things to us.
Like?
What?
Should I say like what?
Like what? Yeah, tell me.
Like she has this habit of, she's very vivacious, except when she's shooting.
Okay.
She kept
okay. Thank you.
Great fun to work with also. Excellent. I think it shows on film. Nobody, and one thing I would like to say is we were all, at that time, I think, much newer than we are.
So we were all a little bit insecure. So it kind of helped us to get, become better friends and work better together.
It was a 40-day
It shows in the
outdoor
film
exhibition.
actually. If you see it on the screen also, it gives you that feeling of their meeting together and the way they work together, all of them. I think
You're there
it's a
together
kind of
for
film
40
I think
days.
we all will, I think, remember for quite long time in our life.
Not quite long time.
So tell me, how much was it inspired by Sabrina?
Only the basic thought of two brothers falling in love with the same girl. That's all. Otherwise, if you see the film and if you see Sabrina, you'll see lot of changes.
Which I haven't, by the way.
And
Which I haven't, by the way. Have you?
I haven't seen Sabrina
Have you?
either.
I don't think any of
Actually, I
us
think
acting in it.
That's good.
but basically, it was like just choosing an idea of two brothers falling in love with the same girl. Because we have seen a lot of such films on Indian screen where two friends or two unknown people fall in love with the same girl and then later on they become friends. And we thought of making such a film where they are real brothers and fall in love with the same girl.
Which character did you really feel close to? The girl or the two boys? Which of the two boys?
I
Whom do
think
you
as a
like?
director, I personally feel all the characters, even any character, maybe the driver in the film or the peon in the film or anybody. Because a particular scene, if you are working on with a particular actor, at that time you are supposed to see that all the actors, you are supposed to feel them.
And Kajol, did you have to do anything beyond being yourself because you're full of life, and did you have to do anything demanding on you?
Demanding, not really. I really thought that character was a lot like me, so it was much easier for me to do it than to really, look for something in myself that probably was not there. It was there.
So what do you think of acting? Why do you enjoy acting? Why are you here? Why do you face the camera?
I face the camera because I enjoy it. I mean, I didn't really think that I would, but I do. It's like something that you've never tried before, and you try it and you like it, so you stay with it. And the day you get bored of it, or the day you begin to not like it at any point, at any juncture, you can leave it.
I think the capturing of certain moments on film is very interesting. My entire reason for being in films is one day, I stress not yet, it hasn't happened yet anyway, to be in a film that I can sit back perhaps and watch on video at home and really be quite proud of as being part of an entire story and an experience,
Saif's first film with Madhuri, how has it been working with her? Is it a learning experience, or were you like...
Oh, I don't know. The first time I saw her, she was, carried herself very well, very gracefully, obviously. And I don't think I was ever intimidated. She was far too constructive and a calming influence for that to happen. But I was definitely conscious that I should be there 100% and I should do work that might put across to her that, she's not doing something silly by being involved in this project, basically. But no, a marvelous experience. A lot of professionals in this line I've had the pleasure of working with have taught me some things, but not for a while. And Madhuri ji has, again, whether it's the basic approach, the basic calm on a set, and I think quite an exemplary actress. I'm glad to have had the opportunity to work with her.
Also, maybe have you learned a little bit of, taking even things that are seemingly very funny seriously? As in Hindi cinema always has these situations which, to most people with different sensibilities might look, what's this, what is that?
But that's such a general question. I just do what my director tells me to do to the best of my ability. And if you're lucky, your sensibilities match the director's. If you're not, they don't. So, but that's not the job. The job is to be told what you're to do, what you're told to the best of your ability. It's got nothing to do with sensibilities either.
You worked with this director earlier too, Lawrence D'Souza. How is it working with him? He's a cameraman too. Does that add to his, involvement with the film or his understanding of the subject? Or
I guess, I don't know. It's a bit like having a wicket keeper for a captain, no? or something. That's what I've always thought. It's great working with him once you can follow what he's saying, which took me about 3 months initially. But I've done 2 other films with him, so we're absolutely fine now. Yeah.
You worked with Akshay too. Fantastic chemistry between the two of you on screen and so many films you've seen. How has it been working on this film? Is it very different?
Well, like I said, it's different because we're not friends in this picture, which is great, you know, that's good for a change. And we just have a very cordial relationship throughout the whole thing, which is fine.
Is it a very 90s and film or is
No, it's not a 90s movie. It's a very Indian movie. It's a very sort of timeless film. It could obviously have been shot much slicker, but that's not the point. It's, I mean, you know, in the sense that it's not 90s in technique and things like this. It's not, the content is very solid. And the story, it's got a story and it works. It works on a script level. And I hope it works after we've got through with it also.
What did you enjoy most about doing this film?
I enjoyed the maturity of the character of that I'm playing. I enjoyed his maturity. I enjoyed, like I said, I mean, I got to do various things that I've never done before. Got to work with Madhuri Dixit, got to play a maturer character, got to play opposite, sort of semi-opposite Akshay Kumar in a very cordial way, not in a friendly way. And I get to die. Which was, yeah, so I mean, these are things that I thought were massively interesting.
Have you done the dying scene? How was it?
Yeah, I have.
How was it feeling?
Well, I don't know, they were really rushed in Scotland. I'm paranoid about it, but let's see. They're saying it came out fine.
Is it one of those long...
No, not very long at all.
You have to say dialogue?
A few, yeah.
Thanks, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. This film, Tum, I'm playing a role of a character who is a reformed person, someone who's had a past and quite a dark past, and someone who's trying to do the right thing in life, and the problems he encounters while trying to lead a good existence with his young child. And it's a love story, and it's a thriller. Well, Love Ke Liye Kuch Bhi Karega was a comedy. And this is, like I said, this is a much more mature and serious role. Love Ke Liye Kuch Bhi Karega was a comedy which Inivas directed, and this film is a love story and a thriller, and the role is not at all comic, and it's quite a subdued character, which will hopefully be very interesting for me to play. This film stars also Mr. Jackie Shroff, Aftab, and Sakshi Shivanand. Not at the moment. I mean, except that I hear, you know, the producer is very happy with it, and he's apparently sold it already. So that's a good thing, apparently. I'm also working on Kal Ho Naa Ho with Dharma Productions, which is Karan Johar's film directed by Nikhil Advani, and also Ek Hasina Thi, produced by Ram Gopal Verma and directed by Sri Ram Raghavan, which is a very interesting picture which I think has no songs in it. It'll have background music, and that's a more adult thriller, straight. But that's what a lot of people are asking. I don't know. You know, I think she's open to doing a well-made film, and it's still very early for me to say anything beyond the fact that yes, she might be interested. Yeah, of course, evidently.
लव के लिए कुछ भी करेगा या फिर दिल चाहता है, दोनों में एक कॉमिक रोल जो आपका था ऑडियंस भी काफ़ी अप्रिशिएट किया है, तो कहीं ध्यान में है किस तरीके के रोल से आप फिल्में करना जो आपकी एक इमेज जो है अच्छे से बन पाए।
कि ऐसा कोई कॉन्शियस एफर्ट तो नहीं है। मेरे ख्याल से एज एन एक्टर यू शुड ट्राई एंड डू anything that you find interesting, And what you find interesting will be something that's different to something you've already done. I love doing comedy. I think it's great fun to make people laugh. Things are quite sad anyway. So, I mean, our country, sometimes needs some light moments in a theatre. So it's very important to, to do light films also. But at the same time, I'd like to do something else like this. No, I think it's easier than doing comedy. I don't think doing comedy is very easy. Well, nobody has offered me a Hollywood film. If they offered me a good role, of course I would do it. I think I speak good English. Certainly, a lot of people have liked the film, they've appreciated the film. Dil Chahta Hai has certainly done a lot for me. And but it's not often that you get a role written so well. 20th Century Fox. Well, that's Ek Hasina Thi. And that is a, it will be a genuinely, the story is told in an interesting way. It's an adult love story which is also extremely violent and quite scary, and it turns into like a hell of an experience, really. So, it should be fun. The character has various shades which I've never touched before. But that film co-stars Urmila Matondkar. Oh, beyond Fox, no. In terms of distribution. Which movie now? Well, yeah, like I said, it's a film about second chances. It's a film about, I don't think any character in it is completely flawless or perfect, which is what makes it interesting. Everybody has a past, and when all these characters meet, like I said, it's basically starts off as a romantic film and becomes a thriller. Well, beyond saying that, it's a guy who has had quite a shady past, who is now trying to live very normally and legitimately for the sake of his child. And then it's the circumstances that he encounters which make it difficult for him to carry on because of things in his past that keep popping up and affecting him again. It's a little early right now to go into all that. I'm sure there'll come a time when I can tell you more at length. The scene we're just doing now is an introduction, just showing you're getting to know the character I'm playing a little bit, what he does, what he's like. And later on in the film, through a flashback, you'll see what he was like. And things will be clear.
Like the other stars, are you also interested in film production? Are you planning to start it in your future?
Well, sometimes when you look around, you think, that you can do it also. But I am not much of a producer in my mind. I'd love to make a film one day, I think. I'd love to maybe direct a film, if any, That, I think that's that's the job. Acting's great, and I love it. But I think I would like to try and make a film one day. Well, if I had the answer to that, I don't think I need to work in films. But I hope it's India. But I'm be quite interested to see what Australia does as well. Sorry? I don't know. Dark horses, I haven't got a clue. I have a feeling, it's going to be between Australia and, I'm saying India and Australia.
Coming back to the music is by Nikhil Village.
No, well, nothing at the moment. Nothing. I haven't heard it yet.
Do you identify with your character?
To a certain extent, yes. Yeah, I do. Not completely, of course. I mean, I don't think I've done the things he is supposed to have done. But to a certain extent, yeah.
About your role in this film.
I'm playing an accounts executive working in an ad firm called Dhananjay Pandit, and the guy's called Dhananjay Pandit, and he's very interested in like money and his contract, and he believes in order. He thinks he can control his life and other people's too, in the sense that he makes lots of plans and he likes to stick to them. His life is massively disrupted when he goes down to Rajasthan to help out his illegitimate half-brother, played by Ajay, a Muslim guy called Aftab. A subplot, not very important, is the fact that they are Hindu and Muslims. I'm playing a Hindu, he's playing a Muslim. It's not the most relevant thing, but it's just, it's a sub-thing. And how his life is turned upside down, and a series of events leads, as the writer was saying, everyone from the cops to the army to the CBI chasing these people. And on the run, Dhananjay understands that there's more to life than his shallow existence, and the ties of family, whether legitimate or illegitimate, are very important, and how he becomes a more mature and more magnanimous person is Dhananjay's track in this film.
How do you think the end product has come out? Do you think it's going to be successful?
God, I haven't got a clue. I hope so. I think so. I like it myself, which is a good sign. Most films that I've liked have done well, and at least the ones I haven't liked haven't.
You've not yet really established yourself that you've not had that major hit. Do you think this is going to be really it?
Yeah, but I mean, even if it is, this won't be the major hit for me anyway. If you see what what you're talking about is, I think, a solo hero love story, which would be nice, and I hope that does happen. But if this film does well, it'll be good, of course. Yeah. It's a nice role. I'm glad I did it. It's a diametric opposite. It's capitalizing on my personality and Ajay Devgan's personality. And we're both doing what we're best at.
But do you feel multi-starters of this kind are a safe bet?
No, I have in the past felt that a multi-starrer is safer than a solo film. Put it this way, I haven't felt that the point is to do a film which is a single billing role. The point is to do a film that's entertaining, I felt. And in my younger days, even younger days, I felt that two-hero films can be more entertaining, and of course, being realistic, less risk involved. And if you do well, equal amounts of credit.
But is it intimidating working with another star, or does it take away from your performance?
Well, it depends. I mean, some people tend to hijack scripts, and that's never really happened with me. But sometimes. And I think it's fun. It's not intimidating. It's a little calmer working on your own. It's a little calmer working on your own. You have more scope to do exactly what you want to. When you work with other stars, you have to be a little more accommodating. But if you're doing as clearly defined roles, I'm talking too loudly because you're sitting so far away. If you're doing as clearly defined roles as we are in this movie, there's never any tension. In fact, we got along very well. We became friends during this film. We were handcuffed throughout it, so it was either that or kill each other. So I mean.
So basically, there seems to be a lot of hype for the music. Do you feel that that's a very important factor, that the film might do well because of good music?
Well, films tend to do well because of good music. I'm not sure what kind of entertainment the audience is after generally, because sometimes if a film music does really well, the houses are packed for the first week at least. This is a music company, and Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan was an international superstar. And as things like Qawwalis he's done in this film, and a couple of songs that he's written are excellent. I mean, don't need me to say that. But the film is strong in its own. This is one of the few films I've worked in where no one's even talked about publicity till it was over. Normally people start worrying about how they're going to package a slightly raw product anyway, which leaves me feeling a bit hollow normally. I get a little scared. I'm like, we're doing interviews and I'm telling you what a great film it is, but it's not. This is a different campaign altogether. We finished the movie and we took a week off, and now they're asking us to come to Delhi to start promoting the movie. It's a different phase. So I'm confident. I think people in charge of this project know what they're doing.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
यूँ तो हम इनका तारुफ इनके लोकप्रिय माता पिता के नाम से करा सकते हैं, लेकिन आज फिल्म जगत में इन्होंने अपनी एक अलग पहचान बना डाली है।
जनाब सैफ अली खान पहले पर्दे पर एक कामयाब स्टार हैं, एक दिल फरेब शख्सियत के मालिक हैं। सुबह सवेरे में आपका स्वागत है।
थैंक यू, धन्यवाद।
सैफ, आपके माता पिता दोनों को कम उम्र में कामयाबी के रिकॉर्ड्स उन्होंने हासिल कर लिए थे
जी।
तो ऐसा क्यों हो रहा है कि आपको कामयाबी पाने के लिए इतनी जद्दोजहद करनी पड़ रही है?
जी, इसका जवाब तो मेरे पास नहीं है, लेकिन हर इंसान का रास्ता अलग होता है। मुझे कम से कम ये तो मालूम है कि मैंने अपनी सही नौकरी चुनी है। काम करते वक्त मुझे बहुत मज़ा आता है। ऊपर वाले की मेहरबानी से मेरे पास एक अच्छा घर है, अच्छी बच्ची है, अच्छी बीवी है और काम भी काफ़ी मिल रहा है आजकल। तो कामयाबी मिले ना मिले, मुझे उम्मीद है कि मिलेगी, लेकिन मैं इस वक्त भी काफ़ी खुश हूँ।
आमतौर पे देखा जाता है कि लोग एस्टैब्लिश होने के बाद शादी करते हैं, लेकिन आपने तो काफ़ी पहले कर ली।
जहाँ तक मुझे मालूम है, मुझ में बहुत कम चीज़ें हैं जो आम लोगों में दिखाई देती हैं। मैंने काफ़ी चीज़ें अलग की हैं। मुझे लगता है कि एक ज़िंदगी है और अगर मुझे दिल की आवाज़ में काफ़ी सुनता हूँ और दिमाग की कम।
आप कहते हैं कि आपने काफ़ी चीज़ें अलग की हैं, और क्या-क्या अलग की हैं एक नॉर्मल इंसान से?
मैंने पढ़ाई ज़्यादा नहीं की। स्कूल के बाद जो करनी चाहिए शायद मैं बाद में करूँगा। मुझे लगता है बहुत ज़रूरी है। और जब मैं लोगों से मिलता हूँ तो जब मैं लोगों से बात करता हूँ तो मैं उन चीज़ों पे कम ध्यान देता हूँ जो आम लोगों शायद देते हैं। मैं ये नहीं पूछता कि आपके अब्बा क्या करते हैं, आप क्या करते हैं। कई लोग मुझे कहते हैं कि मैं आई एम टू ओपन। मैं कुछ एक मतलब गैर इंसान को भी अपनी पूरी राम कथा सुना देता हूँ कभी कभी। ये शायद अच्छी बात है कि नहीं है, मुझे पता नहीं, लेकिन मेरी मतलब the questions I have in life are slightly different to a lot of people I've met, and not also actually.
सिर्फ ये सवाल आपसे कई बार पहले भी पूछा गया होगा, आप क्रिकेट की ओर क्यों नहीं गए?
क्योंकि मुझे लगा कि मैं अपने अब्बा की तरह नहीं खेल सकता हूँ। ये जब मैं 6 साल का था मुझे पता चल गया था।
ये लगा कि आप अपनी अम्मी जितनी बेटर एक्टिंग कर सकते हैं?
जी, मुझे लगता है कि मैं उनसे शायद मैं लड़का हूँ और वो लड़की हैं।
जी हाँ, वो डिफरेंस तो है ही, वो डिफरेंस
तो इतनी कंपैरिजन नहीं हो सकती। लेकिन मैं अपने मुझे लगता है कि अल्टीमेटली आई वुड लाइक टू बी एज गुड।
बहुत सक्सेसफुल।
आई थिंक आई कैन डू दैट।
बहुत सक्सेसफुल भी थी।
आई थिंक आई कैन, या शी वाज वेरी सक्सेसफुल। आई थिंक आई कैन एक्ट, बट आई नो आई कुडंट प्ले क्रिकेट। सो ओनली 11 ही लोग खेल सकते हैं पूरे देश में। लेकिन अगर मैं खेल सकता था तो ये बहुत अच्छी बात होती है। आई एम क्वाइट रोमांटिक एट हार्ट। अगर मैं तो सचिन तेंदुलकर से भी बड़ा स्टार होता। थर्ड जनरेशन, ग्रैंडफादर कैप्टन, फादर कैप्टन, सन कैप्टन, सैफ अली खान कैप्टन ऑफ इंडिया। डोंट यू थिंक?
क्यों नहीं?
क्वाइट कूल वुड बी।
क्या मालूम ऐसी कोई फिल्म बने जिसमें ऐसा मौका मिले।
हाँ जी, लेकिन मैं तो उसमें काम नहीं करूँगा।
अच्छा, आपको मुंबई में क्या औरों के कंपैरिजन में कम स्ट्रगल करना पड़ा अपनी जगह बनाने के लिए?
मतलब ज़्यादा लोग बोलते हैं स्ट्रगल का मतलब क्या होता है कि ऑटो रिक्शा में बैठो और 10 चक्करें काटो और किसी के ऑफिस में अच्छी एक ऐसे जैसे सोफे में बैठो आप 3 घंटे के लिए, तो इसे स्ट्रगल कहते हैं। मेरी स्ट्रगल भी थी लेकिन अलग थी। मुझे तो अपनी पहली फिल्म से निकाल दिया गया क्योंकि मेरे डायरेक्टर साहब ने बोला कि यू लीव योर गर्लफ्रेंड or you do the film.
अच्छा,
so it's a moral choice. How do you say moral choice in Hindi?
जिंदगी ने आपको दोराहे पे आकर खड़ा कर दिया, धर्म संकट।
It's a bit dramatic. धर्म संकट, yeah, जरूरी है एक करियर में।
फिल्म जो कच्चे धागे है जो आने वाली है,
वो बोल रहे हैं आपको कि जल्दी और पूछे।
जो ये भी एक मल्टी स्टारर है।
They've got these things in their ears, these guys, and he tells them everything. हाँ,
ये एक मल्टी स्टारर है। और इस
See,
They're robots, these two.
No.
They're pretty faces representing the people behind the glass.
Just like actors,
Yeah.
all actors.
Yeah. There's a slight difference.
Okay.
Even the Marlon Brando used to do this.
Okay.
Used to get cued his lines
Mhm.
from his ear.
Okay.
Someone else used to say the line. Yeah?
Yeah. Shall we go?
Yeah.
Okay.
जी.
फिर भी ओले ओले में आपने कमाल का डांस किया.
थैंक यू सर.
कैसे?
बहुत मेहनत की मैंने. मैं सरोज खान के साथ मैंने अपनी करियर शुरू की और बस लाइट्स बंद कर. मैं कोरियोग्राफर आता था, मुझे मूवमेंट दिखाता था, मैं बोलता था प्लीज़ लाइट्स बंद कर दीजिए आपके 15-20 मिनट के लिए, और 1 घंटे के लिए लगे रहते थे हम लोग
अंधेरे में.
जी, अंधेरे में. रिहर्सल. और मतलब थोड़ा सा तो दिमाग है मेरे पास, और 20 फिल्मों के बाद अगर थोड़ी बहुत मतलब डांसिंग एक्टिंग नहीं आती तो
जी
बहुत गड़बड़ है.
आपकी कई फिल्में कामयाब हैं और इनमें आप इन सब फिल्मों में आप किसी को हीरो के साथ आए, तो क्या आप अकेले एक फिल्म का भार अपने कंधों पर नहीं उठा सकते? आपको क्या लगता है?
मुझे लगता है कि अगर ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है. सही कहानी नहीं मिली मुझे लगता है, क्योंकि अगर मुझे 2 हीरो की कहानी में सफलता मिल सकती है और अगर लोग कहें कि सैफ का काम अच्छा था, तो इसका मतलब कि सोलो फिल्म में भी
एक कंपैरिजन हो जाता है.
नहीं. See, like I'll say it in English. I can't even say it in English.
ये आपकी नई फिल्म आ रही है, किस
जी.
तरह की फिल्म है, किस तरह?
मेरे हिसाब से अगर इसको क्लासिफाई करना ज़रूरी है तो मैं कहूँगा कि ये एक जिसमें कई लाइट मोमेंट्स भी हैं, कई सीरियस मोमेंट्स भी हैं, लेकिन ओवरऑल मेरे हिसाब से एक फैमिली ड्रामा है.
थ्रू आउट द फिल्म आपको क्या लगा वर्किंग ऑन इट? कैसा रहा? क्या आप खुश थे एंड रिजल्ट से?
मैंने इससे पहले एक पिक्चर की थी कुंदन जी के साथ, लव एरिया नाम की, जो एक टोटल कॉमेडी है. और जब कुंदन जी ने मुझे ये सब्जेक्ट सुनाया, उन्होंने कहा कि वो चाहेंगे कि मैं ये रोल करूं, क्योंकि ये काफ़ी अलग टाइप का रोल है. इस इंडस्ट्री में ज़्यादातर अगर आप एक किस्म का रोल करें तो आपको या आप एक किस्म के रोल में थोड़े बहुत सक्सेसफुल हों तो आपको उसी टाइप के रोल्स के ऑफ़र आते हैं, लेकिन एक ही डायरेक्टर के साथ एक ही टाइम पे 2 अलग रोल्स करने का मौका ज़्यादातर नहीं मिलता. तो उस वजह से मैं बहुत एक्साइटेड था. और मेरे ख्याल से पहली बार कुंदन जी एक ऐसा कमर्शियल सब्जेक्ट डायरेक्ट कर रहे थे, क्योंकि इसके पहले उन्होंने या तो कहानियाँ अपने आप लिखी थी या अपने काफ़ी पुराने कनेक्शंस के साथ स्क्रिप्टों पे काम किया है. लेकिन जहाँ तक मेरा नॉलेज है, इस बार पहली बार उन्होंने एक मेन स्ट्रीम कमर्शियल फिल्म डायरेक्ट करने की डिसीजन ली. और मुझे लगा कि एक इतना इंटेलिजेंट डायरेक्टर एक कमर्शियल स्क्रिप्ट को लेकर क्या करेंगे, देखने में बहुत मज़ा आएगा.
आया मज़ा?
जी, बहुत आया. उनके साथ काम करते वक्त हमेशा आता है.
एक इतनी यंग टीम, रॉकी, प्रीति, आप सब काम करते हैं, किस तरह का ये रहता है सेट पे? क्या इज देयर द वाइब्रेंसी टू द होल फिल्म एंड द एटमॉस्फेयर ऑन द सेट?
यंग और ओल्ड का कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ता. लोगों को प्रोफेशनल होना चाहिए और अपने काम में इंटरेस्ट होना चाहिए. मैंने कई ऐसे फिल्में की हैं, खैर वो बात छोड़ो, लेकिन सब लोग जो इस पिक्चर में काम कर रहे हैं उनको अपने काम से बहुत इंटरेस्ट है, और जब काम से इंटरेस्ट है तो काम हमेशा इंटरेस्टिंग होता है. और मतलब इंटरेस्ट इससे नहीं बढ़ती है कि आप क्या कर रहे हो ऑफ द सेट, क्या कर रहे हो, कि हंसी मजाक क्या कर रहे हो. काम करते वक्त, सीन्स करते वक्त, डायरेक्शंस लेते वक्त हमें काफ़ी मज़ा आया, क्योंकि हमें लगा कि हम जो कर रहे हैं इतनी आम चीज़ नहीं है, थोड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग सब्जेक्ट है. तो साथ में काम करते वक्त बहुत मज़ा आया. जो दिखता है मेरे ख्याल से स्क्रीन पर, लेकिन ये पिक्चर कॉमेडी नहीं है.
किस तरह का संगीत है फिल्म में?
नहीं, मैं आई एम ऑलवेज शॉक्ड व्हेन आई सी द अमाउंट ऑफ म्यूजिक दैट पीपल डू, बिकॉज our music director has to do so much music. Every music director has to do so much music. But टिप्स की फिल्मों में अगर आप देखें, कच्चे धागे एक राजस्थानी टाइप की कहानी थी. जब प्यार किसी से होता है इज अर्बन फिल्म, एंड क्या कहना इज हिल स्टेशन मूवी geographically, and all the music suits. Like Kacche Dhage had Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan doing very poetic Sufi based kind of music, again blended with commercial mainstream stuff. And this film is also the music is totally suited to it, because some of it is very family orientated, if music can be family orientated, you know what I mean. Like when the whole family sits and sings songs and stuff like this. Very light, feeling good kind of melodious songs which can tilt towards sadness also and happiness. And a sort of a light, young score which is totally suited to the kind of story that they are telling.
गाने की कोई पिक्चराइजेशन आपको पर्टिकुलरली अच्छा लगा, कोई something different from what normally Hindi films में जो देखा जाता है उससे कोई?
Well, we shot our songs in Switzerland. So obviously I don't know how different that is, but the different thing is कुंदन जी ने जब स्विट्जरलैंड में शूटिंग की तो उन्होंने जानबूझ के ऐसे लोकेशंस पे शॉट्स लिए जो ऊटी से कंप्लीट मैच होते हैं. तो आपको लगेगा नहीं जब आप पिक्चर देखेंगे कि ये लोग विलायत जाके ये गाना करके आए. यू विल से दैट वेयर इज दिस ब्यूटीफुल क्लीन पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया, व्हिच इज नाइस. इट लुक्स लाइक ऊटी. ऊटी इज वेरी ब्यूटीफुल आल्सो.
Any interesting song picturization that you liked or thought was different?
Well, actually my favorite song on the album is In Qadmon Ke Neeche, but I'm not sure that that's going to be in the film or not yet. That's the most catchy song according to me, and that's one of the most sort of best picturized songs, and it lifts the whole picture, and that's been shot in all over the world. And but that's not the point. The point is not that it's been shot all over the world. The point is it looks like it's been shot in India, but it's glorious in color and in and the tune itself.
Is there anything else about the film that you would really like to mention?
Well, I think that a good commercial Hindi movie has to appeal to various kinds of people in India. You can't just have a certain one-track kind of movie, and it's always, to my mind, been difficult to have songs in films. But Kundanji is like really talented at making these songs fit the script. Sometimes even the lyrics of his other movies are not very song-type lyrics, but very linked to the script. You know, they'll contain lines that are relevant to the story. So if you've been watching the film, you'll understand. Out of context, it might not make so much sense. But similarly with this film, I mean, the songs have been blended in perfectly. And I don't know, it might seem a bit of a sort of funda type thing to say, but I feel at the end of every sort of episode in the movie, the song kind of winds up how everyone is feeling and kind of reminds the audience what all has happened in the last episode, you know. Tips, I think, are tremendously knowledgeable, and they experiment quite a lot, and I don't think they're prepared to spend lots and lots of money on getting the right song. I've done one film with them before, and but more than the film I've done, I think even Jab Pyar Kisi Hota Hai made them even more famous as producers, because it took a lot of guts to publicize the film the way they did. And so they really go and get what they want. Like I said, Kacche Dhage had that Rajasthan feel because it suited the film. This film has songs that are sort of about college, you know, about that age group, perfectly suited to a hill station and the kind of story we're making. And I think they have a reputation. You don't need me sitting here saying it's amazing, because I think their track record speaks for themselves, that they won't publish an album unless it is satisfactory, and if it's satisfactory, it must be very good. I mean, they have that reputation.
Okay, thanks, Saif.
Sure, thank you.
आपका सुबह सवेरे में एक बार फिर से स्वागत है।
गुड मॉर्निंग सारे देखने वालों को।
सैफ, आज बातचीत का सिलसिला हम आपकी हॉबीज, आपके शौक से करते हैं। आपको पोएट्री से कितना लगाव है और कोई आपका फेवरेट पोएट है?
हाँ, फैज़ एंड गालिब। आई एम टॉकिंग रबिश। ये मेरी दादी पढ़ती थी और मेरा अब्बा पढ़ते हैं। ये कोई उम्र है इन चीज़ों को पढ़ने का? नहीं। आई एम रेड अ लॉट ऑफ वेस्टर्न पोएट्री क्योंकि मैं वहीं पढ़ा था, मैं क्या करूं। लेकिन सुनने कहते हैं, मेरे अब्बा कहते हैं कि फैज़ इज़ अ फिनोमिनल पोएट, और पढ़ने जाएं तो कुरान शरीफ भी कमाल की पोएट्री है।
सैफ, हमें ये बताइए कि आप अपना खाली वक्त कैसे गुजारते हैं और जब खाली होते हैं तो क्या करना पसंद करते हैं?
पास टाइम मतलब जब मैं शूटिंग नहीं करता हूँ, मैं काफ़ी चीज़ें में इंटरेस्ट है मुझे। म्यूज़िक में गिटार खेलता हूँ और या बजाता हूँ। कंप्यूटर गेम्स, सर्फिंग, इंटरनेट, किताबें पढ़ना, पिक्चरें देखना।
आपको मौका मिल जाता है, टाइम मिल जाता है ये सब खेलने के लिए?
ओके, जब वक्त मिलता है, जब शूटिंग नहीं होती है तो बॉम्बे जिम खाना इज़ अ ग्रेट क्लब। एवरीथिंग्स हैपनिंग देयर। The shooting club, I'm very interested in target shooting in Worli. That's a great thing I do. And then at home the whole day, I'm telling you, I can computers, books, all these things.
सैफ, अब बातें करते हैं फिल्मों की। ये बताइए कि आपकी पसंदीदा विदेशी फिल्म कौन सी है?
हाँ, फॉरेन फिल्म्स भी है, मतलब गॉडफादर है, ऐसी काफ़ी फिल्म है। लेकिन फॉरेन फिल्म में हिंदी फिल्म से इतनी अलग है ना कि कोई फ़ायदा नहीं कंपेयर करने का। और एक ज़माना था जब मैं सोचता था ये पिक्चर बनानी चाहिए शायद, ऐसी कुछ करनी, लेकिन बन ही नहीं सकती क्योंकि हमारे मतलब पहले जैसे वास्तव में उन्होंने हीरोज़ का बोलने का ढंग बदला। जैसे आम आदमी सड़क पे बोलता है, वैसे अगर आपका कैरेक्टर बोले तो सब लोग ध्यान से सुनेंगे कि क्या हो रहा है। और हॉलीवुड फिल्मों की ये खासियत है कि वो बहुत अच्छी तरह लिखी जाती हैं। उनके डायलॉग्स हर पिक्चर में अलग डायलॉग्स होते हैं। मतलब एक पिक्चर में अगर आदमी अमीर है तो ऐसे बात करेगा, गरीब है तो ऐसे बात करेगा, गाली देगा तो ऐसे देगा। हमारे यहाँ तो हम एक काफ़ी सालों से एक वही स्टाइल में डायलॉग्स बोल रहे हैं, और वो आज के ज़माने में थोड़ा बदल रहा है। और नेचुरली लोग इसको अप्रिशिएट कर रहे हैं क्योंकि लग रहा है कि अरे ये क्या हो रहा है, ये बहुत रियल लग रहा है। कि ज़्यादातर हम जैसे फिल्मों में हीरोज़ बात करते हैं, वो अपनी ज़िंदगी में ऐसी बात नहीं करते ना।
विदेशी फिल्मों के बाद अब हिंदी फिल्मों की बात करते हैं। आपकी फेवरेट एक्ट्रेस कौन रही हैं?
हिंदी फिल्म से आई थिंक फेस मधुबाला and you know, like body and face is Zinat Aman, and as like an actress I don't know, hard to say really. Let's say Amrita Singh.
सैफ, ये बताइए कि हिंदी फिल्मों के आपके पसंदीदा सीन कौन से हैं? ऐसे सीन्स जो आपको हमेशा याद रहते हैं।
Okay, then Vastav again. The scene when Sanju is telling, or when Raghu is telling his mother at the end that whether she can get him some alcohol or whether she can save him or what, he doesn't know what's going on anymore. I thought that's one of the most powerful scenes I've seen recently. We should stop talking about Mother India now. Yeah, you know, we should talk about today little bit. We all respect the old classics, but so, I mean, it's nice that we got something to talk about today also.
आइए अब आप बात करते हैं आपके कोस्टार्स के बारे में। आपको क्या लगता है कौन सी हीरोइन आपको सबसे ज्यादा कॉम्प्लीमेंट करती हैं?
काजल के साथ काम करना बड़ा अच्छा लगा और उनकी मेंटालिटी भी मुझे कॉम्प्लीमेंट करती है।
आप कितने बजे सुबह सोकर उठते हैं?
नहीं, जब मुझे मतलब दिन में अगर कुछ नहीं करने के लिए, मैं सोता हूँ 8 घंटे, लेकिन अलग अलग टाइम्स पे। मैं कभी कभी सुबह 7 बजे सोता हूँ और दोपहर के 1 बजे उठता हूँ या 12 बजे 2 बजे उठ जाता हूँ, लेकिन सोया मैं 8 बजे। उस वक्त तक कुछ कर रहा था मैं, या तो कंप्यूटर पे या पिक्चरें देखते हुए या किताब पढ़े जा रहे हैं, क्योंकि कुछ खास है नहीं करने को सुबह। और कभी जब होता है तो सुबह 7 बजे उठ के काम पे चले जाता हूँ।
और सैफ, अब बात करते हैं ब्रेकफास्ट की। तो आपको ब्रेकफास्ट या नाश्ते में सबसे ज़्यादा क्या पसंद है?
फ्राइड एग्स ऑन टोस्ट मेरा फेवरेट नाश्ता होता है। कभी कभी सिर्फ लस्सी।
सैफ, ये बताइए कि खाने में आपको क्या अच्छा लगता है, दोपहर में या रात में?
नहीं, कुछ फेवरेट तो नहीं है। आई सपोज बटर चिकन एंड नान, वो सिरका वाला नींबू के साथ। लेकिन अभी दोपहर को बॉम्बे में इतनी गर्मी होती है तो ज़्यादातर दाल चावल और वो कांदा जो बोलते हैं यहाँ पे प्याज को, उसकी खाने की आदत बड़ी लग गई बॉम्बे में।
सैफ, आपने तो बहुत सारी फिल्में की हैं, बहुत सारे आउटडोर लोकेशंस पे गए हैं, तो इन सारे आउटडोर लोकेशंस में आपको सबसे ज़्यादा कहाँ शूटिंग करना पसंद है?
राजस्थान, without a doubt. राजस्थान एंड मे बी लाइक आई सेड पार्ट्स ऑफ कुल्लू मनाली, रोहतांग के पास बहुत खूबसूरत जगह हैं। राजस्थान, जैसलमेर और उदयपुर राजस्थान में।
सैफ, आजकल आप जो फिल्म कर रहे हैं, ये बताइए वो आपके लिए, आपके फिल्मी जीवन के लिए कितनी महत्वपूर्ण है?
हर फिल्म इम्पोर्टेंट होती है हमेशा, वरना करते क्यों?
फिल्म क्या कहना, ये किस तरह की फिल्म है, इसके बारे में अगर आप हमें कुछ बताएं।
वेल आई सपोज क्या कहना एक फैमिली ड्रामा है इन अ वे। इट्स ऑल्सो अ लव स्टोरी। इट्स अ कमिंग ऑफ एज स्टोरी। इट्स द स्टोरी ऑफ अ गर्ल हु बिकम्स अ वुमन and I am playing a man or a boy from college in her life who changes her life in various ways so that it can never be the same again.
सैफ, सुबह सवेरे हमसे बातचीत करने के लिए आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। आपके साथ बातचीत का सिलसिला हम कल भी जारी रखेंगे।
सारे दर्शकों को मेरा धन्यवाद एंड गुड बाय।
सैफ, सुबह सवेरे में आपका एक बार फिर से स्वागत है।
नमस्ते, बताइए क्या सवाल है?
सैफ, ये बताइए कि क्या आप एक्सरसाइज करते हैं, कसरत करने में यकीन रखते हैं?
हाँ, काफ़ी, एवरीडे ज़रूरी होता है, दिमाग के लिए और हेल्थ के लिए।
सैफ, क्या आपका कोई फेवरेट बुक या फिर फेवरेट ऑथर है?
I used to read Ayn Rand, The Fountainhead and all this. And trashy reading, yeah, I read a lot of stuff. From serious literature to rubbish. Even rubbish is good fun sometimes. Rubbish matlab some PG Woodhouse. It's not rubbish at all, but it's not intellectually very heavy. I was an English student, तो स्कूल कॉलेज के बाद थोड़ा हैंगओवर रहा है कि सीरियस किताबें पढ़ो, लेकिन it's not that interesting most of the time. I'd rather read something fun.
क्या सैफ ऐसी कोई जगह है जहां छुट्टियां बिताना या जाना आपको हमेशा ही अच्छा लगता है?
नॉर्थ इंडिया मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है। जैसे इस बार हम लोग देहरादून गए थे कुछ दोस्तों से मिलने, तो मेरी बेटी ने कहा कि मुझे बर्फ़ देखना है, तो किसी ने कहा कि धनौल्टी में बर्फ़ गिर रही है, जो देहरादून से 3-4 घंटे का रास्ता है, तो हम लोग वहाँ तक गए गाड़ी में। वैसे मैं दुनिया तो घूम चुका हूँ, लेकिन लोग भूल जाते हैं कि हमारे यहाँ कितनी खूबसूरत जगह हैं। कश्मीर के पास लद्दाख, तो हिमालयाज़ इज़ माई आइडियल थिंग, बट लेकिन वहाँ अपनी बीवी को ले जाओ तो एक आध दिन के बाद मार पड़ेगी कि थोड़ा रफ़ है, तो उन पे डिपेंड, मूड पे डिपेंड करता है। लेकिन अदरवाइज केरला एंड ऑल आई डोंट लाइक वेरी मच डाउन साउथ। इज सपोज टू बी ब्यूटिफुल, बट इज़ नॉट माई सीन। आई लाइक द डेजर्ट ऑल्सो। राजस्थान and the north in India, best places in the world.
सैफ, इसी महीने होली है, तो आप इस रंगों के त्योहार के बारे में क्या सोचते हैं, आप क्या मनाते हैं?
ऐसा फेस्टिवल मैंने देखा ही नहीं है आज तक। इतना मतलब कमाल का फेस्टिवल है, और दिवाली भी, दोनों बहुत कमाल के हैं। इतने रंग, इतना मज़ा मैं दुनिया में नहीं देखा मैंने। कमाल है, रियली इट्स अमेजिंग, द विजुअल इज अमेजिंग।
सैफ, कल हमने आपसे आपकी नई फिल्म के बारे में बात की थी, ये बताइए कि इस फिल्म की में सबसे ख़ास आपको क्या लगता है?
इस पिक्चर में सबसे ख़ास बात तो कहानी है मेरे ख्याल से। एक काफ़ी ब्रेव कहानी है, और जैसे मैंने कहा था, जो इश्यूज़ ये कहानी टच करती है, हर लड़की की ज़िंदगी के लिए बहुत ज़रूरी होता है। और ऐसी फिल्म मैंने तो नहीं देखी जो इतनी मतलब एक नंगे रूप में इन इश्यूज़ को टैकल करती है. तो it's quite an advanced picture. I hope people don't reject it because of that.
इस फिल्म में आपकी को स्टार प्रीति जिंटा हैं, तो जब आप पहली बार मिले तो फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन कैसा रहा?
मेरी फर्स्ट इंप्रेशन ये थी कि ये इतना ज़्यादा मेकअप नहीं लगाती हैं और बहुत रियलिस्टिक टाइप की लड़की लगती हैं. और जब मैंने उनको एक्टिंग करते हुए देखा तो मैं खुश था कि इस फिल्म में एक ऐसी लड़की है, एक ऐसे कैरेक्टर में जो बहुत सारी लड़कियां मेरे ख्याल से इस लड़की को पसंद करेंगी, क्योंकि ये even though she can look very beautiful and glamorous, that's not her only strength. She's not only got lots of makeup and nice hair and nice clothes, and she's a performer also, and she performs like something that I think women would like to identify with.
सैफ, सुबह सवेरे हमसे एक बार फिर से बातचीत करने के लिए आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया.
आज के लिए बस, कल फिर मिलेंगे. Aside from anything else, I mean, Adi Chopra has seen me do my first screen test, which was just awful, and he remembers that. So I mean, these people have seen me grow up in movies from 20 to 35. It's quite a long time. Well, yeah, I mean, I started my career with the Chopras, and I did my first successful movie with them, and then my first successful solo film with them, and then my first sort of, I would say, bigger solo film with them. So, I mean, it's always a pleasure to work for them, and I think the most special thing is that the widest possible audience watches the movie, and it's also made in a certain way that it's palatable to everybody. And I think if it comes to doing commercial cinema, I'd be very privileged if I can do one film a year for this production.
Are you somewhere feeling that you're getting slotted into doing these kind of urban roles?
No, no. I mean, there's always a danger. I think you have to, somewhere the point is to take control of what you want and be willing to make your own mistakes. I mean, when you're insecure or when you don't really know part of your job or you're a little unclear, then it's all too easy to follow other people. And you will get offered very similar looking things, but without perhaps the soul of Salaam Namaste. There's more to it than a look and a haircut. That's the great thing about working with Yash Raj films, that all the promotion that happens comes later. Initially, it's a concept that's developed into a great screenplay. So, sorry, what's your question? I got off the point. Whether I'm being typecast?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't mind being a little bit typecast as being this kind of guy, because I think it's something I can do well, and I take to it naturally. But at the same time, just for my satisfaction, I would like to mix it up with Eklavya or with Parineeta, and just, to get into a totally different world. And we're really lucky as actors that there are some makers around who are making such contrasting stories, and their personalities are so different from each other, that I think that's important. And I don't think being typecast is a genuine fear, because I would vary things.
Would you say that films like Hum Tum, Salaam Namaste are something like date films? Do you think it's kickstarted the genre of Harry Met Sally, You've Got Mail in India?
No, I don't know. I mean, both films that you mentioned, particularly When Harry Met Sally, I mean, are great films that are about, it's not really fair to compare, but I think there is an emerging type of film that I'm also drawn to sign, like Hum Tum. There's something to do with the kind of language spoken, the situations that develop, and the sensibility of the characters that have something in common, that are a little more international, that are a little more, I think sophisticated is too strong a word, but a little more urban in their mindset. And therefore, if that can become a form of a signature or a type of movie, while being careful not to be typecast into that bracket only, it's important to do what you're best at sometimes, and sometimes that's what comes most comfortably to you. So I don't know exactly what the elements are, but there's something that instinctively I recognize as being the kind of space that I would like to be in. And both, I think that's the only thing actually that Hum Tum and Salaam Namaste have in common, is a certain kind of space, humor level,
It's not a kind of slapstick comedy or a slightly louder form of comedy. It's like a romantic comedy that's more, perhaps like you say, like these date movies. And it's something, in fact, yes, I think you've hit the nail on the head. I don't know if I'd like to somehow get a little wary of associating with that in a way. But I think you're absolutely right that there is an emerging type of date movie. And I think instinctively those are the ones I pick. Wow, I never actually thought of that before.
Okay, now, like you said, that it has a very urban look to it. Both the characters, even in Hum Tum, you were working as a cartoonist, your profession was a cartoonist, here you're a chef. So they have a very urban turnout to the whole thing. So do you think you're being able to relate more to these?
Yes, to a large extent, but no, I mean, I think not only. I mean, there's many things that I would relate to that I'd like to do. I mean, I related very much to Parineeta. I would relate to, a thriller. I think I have much darker taste in cinema. I would like my cinema to be a little more disturbing and about something larger than life, as opposed to, actually, frankly, I don't know if I would watch date movies so much. I would rather watch a supernatural thriller, given a choice. But for some reason, I prefer working in this kind of world. Kinds of films are important, and there's different actors who are suited to them. And that gives the audience a wider spectrum of films to watch. And that's how it should be. But if someone was to ask me to do a film about like the same old kind of thing, I would feel it's the same old kind of thing. And it's really important to come up with something different. I mean, different was also a slightly overused term, but somehow, something not regular. And the minute you come across scenes that are regular or a setup that's kind of regular, it's a little bit scary because, I mean, a lot of things are really regular. From dance steps to locations to the way love is expressed to a typical kind of comic scene or a character actor who's doing a mimic of some superstar. So these are elements that I think as an artist you should be aware of. And if I'm feeling it, I do feel I'm a representative of today. And if I feel I don't want to associate with that kind of movie, and I would want to associate with something like Hum Tum or Salaam Namaste. And if people agree on a concept level, because the film's not released yet, and already there's a certain buzz and there's a advanced booking and things like this, which means that it's a concept that appeals to people also. And then they see if it lives up to their concept or not. So even on a concept stage, you should be like I mean, there's a lot of possibilities of doing genuinely different things.
So, in a way, you're saying that the concept is shifting towards a film, a story around two people, other than many other elements like the family.
Yeah, I mean, love stories primarily sort of work on obstacles, right? So all too often, family is the obstacle or society is the obstacle, which is really quite boring now. Unless the family is very interesting. So the stories there's no problem if you have the same old story, actually. I mean, the plots of Ek Hasina Thi and Kill Bill are remarkably similar, even though Ek Hasina Thi came out long before. But there's a slight difference in the treatment.
Okay, do you think we are being hypocritical in certain ways that this audience are absolutely lapping up episodes of Sex and the City and Desperate Housewives? On the other hand, a film like Salaam Namaste, which is talking about a living relationship, becomes such a big deal. It's even being marketed that way. So we have a double kind of an...
No, well, we do. I think we do have double standards, and but that's okay. I mean, that's the way things are, because I think every society has different pressures on it, right? And the kind of personality that society forms is a direct result of the pressures on it. So in India, there's a very different kind of pressure on people than in London. London has a different kind of pressure. They feel it's very strange if people don't speak good English in the world. They must be uneducated or something, which is wrong, but that's how they are. Because I think there must be books by many more intelligent people written on what I'm talking about. But the psychology of a nation is formed by the pressure. So, I mean, we have different pressures. We've got people, hence the double standards. So, I mean, I think in a Rajshri film I did, in Hum Saath-Saath Hain,
one of the bhabis in the film wears jeans in London, but wears a shalwar kameez in India. So, you take it from there.
Are you somewhere feeling that you're getting slotted into doing these kind of urban roles?
No, I mean, there's always a danger. I think you have to, somewhere the point is to take control of what you want and be willing to make your own mistakes. I mean, when you're insecure, when you don't really know part of your job or you're a little unclear, then it's all too easy to follow other people. And you will get offered very similar looking things, but without perhaps the soul of Salaam Namaste. There's more to it than a look and a haircut. That's the great thing about working with Yash Raj films, that all the promotion that happens comes later. Initially, it's a concept that's developed into a great screenplay. Sorry, what's your question? I got off the point. Whether I'm being typecast? Yeah. No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't mind being a little bit typecast as being this kind of guy, because I think it's something I can do well, and I take to it naturally. But at the same time, just for my satisfaction, I would like to mix it up with Eklavya or with Parineeta, and just, to get into a totally different world. And we're really lucky as actors that there are some makers around who are making such contrasting stories, and their personalities are so different from each other, that I think that's important. And I don't think being typecast is a genuine fear, because I would vary things.
Okay, you worked on this film called Being Cyrus.
Yeah.
Which is supposedly happening to be a multiplex kind of film. So what do you have to say about the whole multiplex thing going on in our country?
Well, I mean, Hum Tum was a multiplex film, and Salaam Namaste, they're also saying, is a multiplex movie. But I don't know exactly what that means, in the sense that it is perhaps catering to a more intelligent, a more exposed. I mean, it's hard to say what exactly that means in terms of multiplex, or more money than regular film goers. So the films that run in Bihar will be the same films that generally run in single cinemas now in India, or the more dramatic, more filmy movies, which half our society is rejecting. So I would personally, even if there's less money in it, associate with the kind of cinema that I think I would be proud of, just on a mentally, something excites me to work in. I feel I'm on the same frequency as the director. And even if you say we get a little scared or dejected when you say, okay, this is a multiplex movie, because it's making it sound niche and that it's not relating to enough people. But the facts and the figures are that there's pots of money, which is ultimately, sadly, what commercial cinema is about, to be made from your multiplex and NRI audience. I mean, there's tons of it. So if it's successful with them, you can afford to, thank God, make films for them.
Yeah, like you just spoke about the less money factor. You think movies with small budget and more experimental stories, do they need actually a huge star cast to push them, or good marketing to push them? And is that whole multiplex thing that these independent films would actually do well with this multiplex scene coming up, is it turning out to be a myth somewhere?
No, I don't know. I'm saying that we have a strong culture of cinema in our country, and it's not unlike any other country in terms of the content that comes out of it. There's some great films made. There's some bad movies made. Some of the smaller films that are being made now, because I mean, my limited knowledge of the trade side of things tells me that multiplexes are looking for a lot of software. They are looking for films that are made less expensively than some of these large star-cast movies. But I think it'd be really interesting if there should only be one type of cinema, If you get so-called big stars doing films like, films that would generally be considered a little more niche-y, just based on the art value of the movie or the story. I mean, Paheli comes to mind immediately. I mean, that's bold and that's nice. I mean, Nagesh Kukunur's Iqbal, which I haven't seen. My mother's been telling me to see it for like weeks now. And the country's raving about that. So I think people do appreciate it when it comes along, and a good film is a good film. I have a feeling I'm not answering your question, though. Well, yeah, I mean, I started my career with the Chopras, and I did my first successful movie with them, and then my first successful solo film with them, and then my first sort of, I would say, bigger solo film with them. So aside from anything else, I mean, Adi Chopra has seen me do my first screen test, which was which was just awful. And he remembers that. So I mean, these people have seen me grow up in movies from 20 to 35. It's quite a long time.
Anything else?
No, I mean, it's always a pleasure to work for them, and I think the most special thing is that the widest possible audience watches the movie, and it's also made in a certain way that it's palatable to everybody. And I think if it comes to doing commercial cinema, I'd be very privileged if I can do one film a year for this production.
Okay, one last question. Talking about Salaam Namaste, coming back to it. A live-in relationship is being shown for the first time in the Indian cinema. How does it feel to have worked on a story like this?
Well, I think as an actor, like I said, it's a Yash Raj movie, and a lot is being made out of saying it's about a live-in relationship and sort of sensationalizing the issue, which is great for promotion, but it's not actually about that only. It's about what happens to two people after they do live together. And films are just stories, so it's like, what if? I mean, you don't want to get into a moral area of whether you're saying it's right or wrong. You're saying it's what happens. And judge for yourself whether you think it's right or wrong for the kind of people. I think they're healthy representatives for Indian cinema, the two characters. And as far as more specifically your question goes, which is what? What?
It's the first time a live-in relationship.
So no, so I would like to be associated with cinema that is things like first time and new and bold and slightly different, as opposed to the same old thing. So I take it as a great compliment, and I like the space where people say, okay, you're doing this film and it's the first time that this is, and are you prepared to take the risk, and stuff like this is exciting to me.
Do you think we are being hypocritical in certain ways that this audience were absolutely lapping up episodes of Sex and the City and Desperate Housewives? On the other hand, a film like Salaam Namaste, which is talking about a live-in relationship, becomes such a big deal. It's even being marketed that way. So we have a double kind of an...
No, well, we do. I think we do have double standards, and but that's okay. I mean, that's the way things are, because I think every society has different pressures on it, right? And the kind of personality that society forms is a direct result of the pressures on it. So in India, there's a very different kind of pressure on people than in London. London has a different kind of pressure. They feel it's very strange if people don't speak good English in the world. They must be uneducated or something, which is wrong, but that's how they are. Because I think there must be books by many more intelligent people written on what I'm talking about. But the psychology of a nation is formed by the pressure. So I mean, we have different pressures. We've got people, hence the double standards. So, I mean, I think in a Rajshri film I did, in Hum Saath-Saath Hain, one of the bhabis in the film wears jeans in London, but wears a shalwar kameez in India. So, you take it from there.
A live-in relationship is being shown for the first time in the Indian cinema. How does it feel to have worked on a story like this?
Well, I think as an actor, like I said, it's a Yash Raj movie, and a lot is being made out of saying it's about a live-in relationship and sort of sensationalizing the issue, which is great for promotion, but it's not actually about that only. It's about what happens to two people after they do live together. And films are just stories, so it's like, what if? I mean, you don't want to get into a moral area of whether you're saying it's right or wrong. You're saying it's what happens. And judge for yourself whether you think it's right or wrong for the kind of people. I think they're healthy representatives for Indian cinema, the two characters. And as far as more specifically your question goes, so I would like to be associated with cinema that is things like first time and new and bold and slightly different, as opposed to the same old thing. So I take it as a great compliment, and I like the space where people say, okay, you're doing this film and it's the first time that this is, and are you prepared to take the risk, and stuff like this is exciting to me.
वो कहते हैं कि शराब पीना एक नवाबी अंदाज होता है, आप खुद भी नवाब रहे हैं, तो क्या उसी अंदाज को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं इस ब्रांड एम्बेसडर बनके?
My grandfather's Nawabi didn't drink. His father didn't drink. Half the families from Bhopal, they don't drink much. My father did drink. I do a little bit within moderation. And so what's your question? That is it a Nawabi trait? I think it's a general human trait. Since the beginning of time, man has indulged in a tiny little bit of distraction. And I think that's a good thing in society, and we shouldn't be hypocritical. And I do believe we live in a free country, and I'm feeling relaxed enough to talk about this without fearing some sort of censorship or worry. Because I think if you do something, you should believe in it. And I do think that you shouldn't drink and drive, and you should be careful, and you shouldn't overdo it. It's not too bad. It's not too good for you. But on the other hand, it's a medical fact that a tiny little bit of alcohol is better for you than none.
What are the attributes of your personality, your persona that gels with the attributes of this brand?
I'm not sure. I think perhaps you should ask the brand.
But what according to your interpretation? What is so royal? What is so...
I don't think it's either to do with the stag or the royal. I think it's just the fact that we kind of perhaps suit each other's image at this moment in time. And I take that as a compliment.
So with Hum Tum was recently a big success. How do you feel now? Do you feel you're finally arrived,
Well, I don't know. I think I've always been working in movies, and I intend to keep working in movies, and there are going to be ups and downs. And right now it's a bit of an up, and when the down comes, you don't take either too seriously, and just stay good at your work is the idea. So I'm very thankful for the success, but I think I've been around too long for it to drive me. But it is very reassuring. And it feels nice to, to succeed in any profession and to be worth something is a pleasure.
Now, Hum Tum has been brought into the cartoon characters of Hum and Tum have been brought into the comic books.
Yeah.
What do you feel? It's gonna is it a new trend?
No, I don't know. I just think it's a tremendous marketing effort by Yash Films, and it's just endorsed my view that the most important thing to do a movie is a good producer, and they're extremely far-sighted and intelligent people, and I think that the marketing has got a lot to do with the success of the movie.
Does it sense a new trend? Do you think?
That's not for me to say. I have no idea. Perhaps.
जैसे कि हमने पहले पूछा कि आप endorsement कैसे choose करते हैं, कैसे select करते हैं, किस चीज़ को ध्यान देके आप हाँ या ना कहते हैं?
I think one looks at the quality of the brand. Which is your camera? Oh, sorry.
This is.
One looks at the quality of the brand. One looks at. No, I'm saying what I'm saying, and you print it however you like. You see what the brand represents, what it's like, whether it's of something that you would like to be associated with. और अगर मुझे लगता है कि there is a quality, and if they feel that I'm the right person, then it works out. I think yes, that's the simplest way of saying it. Quality things.
This is a song by Chuck Berry. I'm going to dedicate this one to my daughter before she fights with me. It's a song called Johnny Be Good. will be a man. You will be the leader of a rock and roll band. People that come from miles around.
Contest. Can Mr. Sachin Deshmukh please come forward and collect his cooling crystals from Mr. Saif Ali Khan? Oh, here he is.
Sachin, this is a very big box, and I hope you can accommodate it well. I'm not touching my feet, Sachin. Okay, shake my hand. Thank you. I'm too young for you to be touching my feet. You can touch his feet. He sings AC/DC. Thank you.
We would have loved Sachin to say a few words, but you know,
Sachin,
we're running out of time and we need to do some songs.
we need to play
Sachin,
some
I'll ask
rock and roll.
you. Thank you so much and congratulations, and guys.
This is a song by Chuck Berry. I'm going to dedicate this one to my daughter before she fights with me. It's a song called Johnny Be Good.
Contest. Can Mr. Sachin Deshmukh please come forward and collect his cooling crystals from Mr. Saif Ali Khan? Oh, here he is.
Sachin, this is a very big box, and I hope you can accommodate it well. touching my feet, Sachin. Okay, shake my hand. Thank you. I'm too young for you to be touching my feet. You can touch his feet. He sings AC/DC. Thank you.
We would have loved Sachin to say a few words, but you know,
Sachin.
we're running out of time and we need to do some songs.
We need to play
Sachin,
some
I'll
last
ask
role.
you.
Thank you, Sachin.
Thank you so much and congratulations. And guys, Mr. Saif Ali Khan. Let's have a round of applause. Alright, this song is being played tonight, especially on Saif's request. It happens to be his favorite band as well, and that happens to be
AC/DC.
And the song I'm going to play for you, which Saif is going to play for you tonight, which you're going to start the proceeding with. This is a very, very old song. Most of you probably haven't even heard it. But trust me, after tonight, there's no fucking way in hell you're ever going to forget it. Because this one's called A Whole Lot of Rosie. I want to tell you a story about this woman I know. And it comes to love, oh, she steals the show. She ain't exactly pretty, she ain't exactly small. She's 69, you could say she's got it all.
brand ambassadors, you're the first actor. Tell us something about why you chose this brand to associate.
Well, I'm told that we have a couple of things in common. Presumably, I feel a little conscious saying it about myself, but they do research on these things and they say that our appeal is wide. And I suppose they feel that my image, again I feel conscious using that word, about myself, matches theirs. And judging by what we've done over the last few days, I think it's going to be a mutually beneficial exercise, because I've enjoyed the shoot, and I've also enjoyed the way I have been presented, which I think will help me in terms of my personal profession.
बहुत सारे actors बहुत सोचते हैं एक bigger company to associate with something like that. क्या आपने इस बारे में बहुत सोचा था?
Yes, ma'am. And I've been offered ads before by not a bigger company, but an moral and ethical issue. But I personally, well, there's two sides to this. I mean, first of all, technically what we are advertising is music, sports and films. But candidly, I do drink occasionally, and most of my friends do, and even members of my family do. So I see nothing wrong with it. And I also am proud that Seagram's has a campaign to do with sensible drinking and safe driving, etc. So I think, and also I do believe it's a medical fact that a little bit of alcohol is better for you than none. So you know, being non-hypocritical, like I said, I do drink sometimes, and I'm quite happy to endorse it. So when I play a part in a movie, irrespective, most of the time, of you know, the responsibilities that go with that. Having said that, there is a certain moral conscience that I have, and there are certain lines I won't cross, and I do believe that endorsing Seagram's is well within that line.
Right here.
Okay.
Yeah. Wait, hang on. Excuse me. Chef, just pan right to left.
Just a second.
Right to left.
Yeah.
What about me?
Right there.
What about me? I'm here. Right here. Chef here, please. Chef here. Chef.
Okay, Amita?
So.
Thank you very much, Saif. Good evening, Asim. Great. Well, you all will get an opportunity to take your photographs, but before that, the reason why we are here is about your fans being able to meet you. Courtesy Colgate Max Fresh, who's brought this to them and brought you to them, rather. Okay, this is a great opportunity. Let me ask one of them. Let me ask Sandeep. Sandeep's from Bangalore. Okay, a young man, 22-year-old. Sandeep, how you feel sitting right in front of Asim and Saif?
My dream come true. Really excited to be here. These are my stars. I'm a big fan of Mercy. I'm a big fan of Zach. I don't believe I'm here. Is it true? I'm not sure.
Let me pinch you. Yeah, you are here. Okay, great. So I love what he said. He says these are my stars. You know, that's what it's all about. Give him a big round of applause. Wonderful. Great. Let me introduce everyone to you, Saif and Asim. We've got the youngest. Okay. This is a young boy from Pune. His name is Dharmesh Rathod. Dharmesh, हाथ मिलाना चाहोगे? जी हाँ. Great. धर्मेश सिर्फ हाथ मिला के नहीं काम चलेगा. आपको एक गिफ्ट भी लेना पड़ेगा उनसे. पूछिए कहाँ है? देंगे. Okay. Let's have something. You know, don't worry, sir. We weren't going to get you to pull it out of my pocket. Wonderful. Well, that's Dharmesh Rathod, all of 12 from Pune, able to meet his favorite star, Colgate Max Fresh, the contestants. Okay. Alpa Doshi from Mumbai. Alpa, your opportunity to meet Saif and Asim. She doesn't know what to do. You can see the excitement. And your gift as well. Something from Colgate Max Fresh, Saif and Asim. Yeah, Alpa, media wants you to look there. Good. Okay. Sandeep still can't believe he's here, so we're going to make it more believable for him. Okay, Sandeep. Great. And Sandeep, you get a gift as well. See, he put that blame on you as well. Great. And of course, from Bhubaneswar, this is Mr. Suresh Behra. Yes, sir. Yeah. Questions?
Question from Vogue India. What's your fashion resolution for the coming season for both of you? Any styles you particularly wanting to follow, you like?
I haven't really been much of someone to follow in that department. I would imagine try and stay dry and comfortable.
Comfortable and stylish.
Dry, comfortable and stylish. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. Staying out the rain.
यार कभी तो मान लिया करो.
Anything as long as I'm comfortable in it should be fine. Thank you.
Yes, we've got a question here. Yeah.
To try and be healthier, wealthier, and wiser.
In that particular order?
In order, I think probably wealthier, healthier.
That's my man. Great. Yes.
I thought I might get in trouble for that one. So I'm going to now say no comment. It wasn't me who said that. I think it must have been someone else. It sounds like a sensitive issue though. Probably should be avoided. I'm saying it wasn't me who had that conversation.
Yeah, before you ask your question, okay, I'm sure you have an interesting one. But we'd like you to also ask questions about this evening, okay? I mean, we've got 5 friends of ours from across India who've got this great opportunity to meet Saif and Asim, okay? And I think we could ask questions about that as well. And probably how Saif's feeling, how Asim's feeling as well. We've asked them how they're feeling. Yeah? Saif, you want to, that's my question. How are you feeling meeting your fans?
I think it's a great opportunity that Colgate has given us to meet the fans directly, and it's amazing to see how I mean, it's so sweet whatever they've said, and it's amazing to see their reactions and to interact with them directly. Thank you to Colgate for that.
Great. Colgate Max Fresh bringing the fans closer.
Yeah, no, I think it's a great thing, and I think the important thing would be to actually spend some time with them and have a nice conversation, because sometimes these things can be a bit rushed. But we'll make sure that we have a nice chat.
Great. Yeah, you really got the hopes high now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we have a question. Yeah, we'll take that.
होस्ट करने का मौका मिले किसी शो डायरेक्टली अपने फैंस के साथ इस तरीके के शो में इंटरेक्ट करेंगे कभी?
There's so many different commercial opportunities for actors. That's another job. It's an interesting thing. देखना पड़ेगा अगर शो मुझे सूट करता है, अगर मैं करता हूँ. I think I could host something. I think I might enjoy it. Maybe either a talk show at some point, or maybe even a game, or some sort of reality show. It's an interesting thing. Something I've thought about, but nothing interesting right now. Each freedom of expression. It's a democratic country. I think I'm very happy and proud to be in the film industry because of this. I think it's the most democratic profession in the world. So I think freedom to me means to be free to think something and to say what you want without getting into too much trouble, which I don't know how often that
Which is a difficult task actually, yeah.
Yeah. No, I was shooting something and I've got a little cut. I'm expecting a gift from both my sisters, and depending on that, I should give them a gift also. No, something very small and intimate, just family and friends. Very close.
Yeah. Great. Asim, yeah. Tell us about your upcoming. Great.
Let's see. My first film is not yet released, so I'd rather talk about it.
No. See, this. I think I was very misquoted, and I didn't really give that interview. So I don't understand where all that came from. I have no comment on that situation. I myself have faced no kind of discrimination. I think it is quite a. I don't think this is the place to be discussing anything except toothpaste and competitions.
And Max Fresh. Talking about that, Saif, what's your Max Fresh experience? Tell us about that.
I'm not sure what a Max Fresh experience is, but
that's a tongue twister actually.
Yeah, it is, and I messed it up.
Yeah,
Max
okay.
Fresh.
Yeah.
But you know, I think it's an honor to be representing Colgate because I mean we've grown up with the brand being the most generic. I mean, I think toothpaste is known as Colgate. It's the cleanest, whitest, one of the most enduring brands ever.
And the freshest.
And I think you know, to be asked to endorse it is a great compliment. So I'm happy to be there, be here for that. You know, so I think that's a pretty fresh experience in itself.
Asim, you want to share your Max Fresh experience?
Well, I've been using Colgate ever since I got my teeth, so it's amazing to be the face of the brand along with Saif. It's really a wonderful feeling and exciting experience. I think the ads that we've shot for have had wonderful concepts. So I think on the whole it's been a great experience, and plus we have this opportunity to interact directly with our well-wishers and fans. So I think on the whole it's just amazing.
Great. There's a question for Asim. Yeah? We have a question for Asim, since she's already with the mic, I guess.
Go
Right?
ahead. Asna, are you, is it true that you're going to be starting in a martial arts film?
It's under discussion. It's under discussion. I think you'll get to hear about it a little later.
On your body. So are you giving it a thought?
No, he didn't suggest that. He has an amazing tattoo of his beautiful wife on his shoulder, massive one. So he just suggested that I get mine darkened or maybe add some red to it, or you know, we discussed tattoos for a while. You know, and he's a very nice man and very kind. And he called up his artist and said, made an appointment. But you know, I think it's fine the way it is. So that's what we do.
So are you giving it a thought over it?
Well, no, not seriously. I think that this is, you know, one tattoo is enough.
And Saif, we also heard that you're getting...
Been extremely possessive, but not like the way it's made out. Really. It's a little bit embarrassing, some of the things that people think. But I can't clarify all that. Let's stick to toothpaste and...
okay.
And freshness. Great. We'll give you all one great opportunity for a photograph together. Okay. Remember, one great takeaway is a photograph. We'd like you to come together. Saif. Thank you so much for being with us. Good night.
My sisters give me a Rakhi and I think I don't usually give them. I should give them something, and you know, that's all. We never really celebrated it. Maybe I should start. What? Yeah. I'd be excited if it was true, but I don't think it's true.
सैफ, इन इंडस्ट्री ये जो दोस्ती जो बहुत रहती है, जैसे आपने अभी सुना होगा शाहरुख और सलमान के बीच काफी झगड़ा हो गया. You are good friends with both of them. Do you think कि जो इंडस्ट्री में जो पहले जितनी मजबूत दोस्ती हुआ करती थी, अब बहुत कमजोर पड़ गई है?
I have nobody to comment on that.
But still, as a colleague, would
I haven't got anything.
Men being brand ambassadors, you're the first actor. Tell something about why you chose this brand to associate.
Well, I'm told that we have a couple of things in common. Presumably, I feel a little conscious saying it about myself, but they do research on these things and they say that our appeal is wide. And I suppose they feel that my image, again I feel conscious using that word, about myself, matches theirs. And judging by what we've done over the last few days, I think it's going to be a mutually beneficial exercise, because I've enjoyed the shoot, and I've also enjoyed the way I have been presented, which I think will help me in terms of my personal profession, and I hope.
बहुत सारे actors बहुत सोचते हैं एक bigger company to associate with something like that. क्या आपने इस बारे में बहुत सोचा था? क्योंकि
Yes, ma'am. And I've been offered ads before by not a bigger company, but an moral and ethical issue. But I personally, well, there's two sides to this. I mean, first of all, technically what we are advertising is music, sports and films. But candidly, I do drink occasionally, and most of my friends do, and even members of my family do. So I see nothing wrong with it. And I also am proud that Seagram's has a campaign to do with sensible drinking and safe driving, etc. So I think, and also I do believe it's a medical fact that a little bit of alcohol is better for you than none. So you know, being non-hypocritical, like I said, I do drink sometimes, and I'm quite happy to endorse it. That exists that we picked up on is make it large. So it's linked to, I think, viewing things in the largest possible way instead of keeping things small, ideas, thoughts, deeds, and it's encouraging people into action and does make things large, which when you see the commercials, if you see them, will be self-evident for people to follow. So when I play a part in a movie, irrespective, most of the time, of you know, the responsibilities that go with that. Having said that, there is a certain moral conscience that I have, and there are certain lines I won't cross, and I do believe that endorsing Seagram's is well within that line.
Right here. Sit. Yeah. Wait, hang on. Excuse me. Come to the back. Chef, just pan right to left.
Just a second.
Yeah.
What about me?
Right there.
What about me? I'm here.
I'm not sure.
Right here. Sir, here please. Sir, here.
कहते हैं कि शराब पीना एक नवाबी अंदाज होता है, आप खुद भी नवाब रहे हैं, तो क्या उसी अंदाज को आगे बढ़ा रहे हैं इस ब्रांड एम्बेसडर बनके?
You know, my grandfather's Nawabi didn't drink. His father didn't drink. Half the families from Bhopal, they don't drink much. My father did drink. I do a little bit within moderation. And so what's your question? That is it a Nawabi trait? I think it's a general human trait. Since the beginning of time, man is indulged in a tiny little bit of you know, distraction. And I think that's a good thing in society. And we shouldn't be hypocritical. And I do believe we live in a free country. And I'm feeling relaxed enough to talk about this without fearing some sort of censorship or worry. Because I think if you do something, you should believe in it. And you know, I do think that you shouldn't drink and drive, and you should be careful, and you shouldn't overdo it. It's not too bad. I mean, it's not too good for you. But on the other hand, it's a medical fact that a tiny little bit of alcohol is better for you than none.
What are the attributes of your personality, your persona that gels with the attributes of this brand?
I'm not sure. I think perhaps you should ask the brand.
But what according to your interpretation? What is so royal? What is so?
I don't think it's either to do with the stag or the royal. I think it's just the fact that we kind of perhaps suit each other's image at this moment in time. You know, and I take that as a compliment.
So with Hum Tum was recently a big success. How do you feel now? Do you feel you're finally arrived, you know?
Well, I don't know. I think I've always been working in movies, and I intend to keep working in movies, and there are going to be ups and downs. And right now it's a bit of an up, and you know, when the down comes, I mean, you don't take either too seriously, and just stay good at your work is the idea. So I'm very thankful for the success, but I think I've been around too long for it to drive me. But it is very reassuring. And it feels nice to, you know, to succeed in any profession and to be worth something is a pleasure.
Now, Hum Tum has been brought into the cartoon characters of Hum and Tum have been brought into the comic books.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you feel?
I think it's
a new trend?
No, I don't know. I just think it's a tremendous marketing effort by Yash Films, and it's just endorsed my view that the most important thing to do a movie is a good producer, and they're extremely far-sighted and intelligent people, and I think that the marketing has got a lot to do with the success of the movie.
Does it set a new trend? I mean, do you think?
That's not for me to say. I have no idea. Perhaps.
जैसे कि हमें पहले पूछा कि आप एंडोर्समेंट कैसे चूज करते हैं, कैसे सेलेक्ट करते हैं, किस चीज़ को ध्यान देकर आप हाँ या ना?
One looks at the quality of the brand. One looks at. No, I'm saying what I'm saying, and you print it however you like. You know, you see what the brand represents, what it's like, whether it's of something that you would like to be associated with. और अगर मुझे लगता है कि there is a quality, and if they feel that, you know, I'm the right person, then it works out. I think, yes, I mean that's the simplest way of saying it. Quality things. Okay. Yes, I know what the news is. I've woken up and you know, it's a little bit disturbing. I mean, I'm smiling about it now, but the point is that when families are discussed and talked about in this way, it's very disturbing to me. I think too much has been said about Kareena and I recently in the news. It's not something that we enjoy reading all the time, but ek had hoti hai, and I think it's absolutely ridiculous to write an article like this saying that we've been married and things like this when it is not true. For the record, I would like to state that while we are very much together and very happy, and perhaps look forward to being together one day, right now we are both focusing on our careers. We are not married, we're not engaged, we do not live together. I live alone in this apartment. Kareena lives with her mother. And like I said, while we're very happy and we would like to continue to live our lives as privately as possible, we are not married and not engaged. I've spoken to the astrologer. I do not blame the astrologer for getting a little bit of attention. I'm sure he's enjoying that, and I can't say I blame him too much. But while I've consulted him in the past about a few things, I do not consult him on everything. And I did speak to him and I advised him to please tell the truth, and I think he's done that. I've seen on TV that he himself has also expressed
what he believes to be the truth, which is that, it's a little embarrassing for me to keep saying this, but I think it's important for people to realize that we do have our private lives. And once again, I stress that while we're very happy together and look forward to a future together, in the present future, we're not getting married, and we're very happy with the way things are. And our careers are most important to both of us, and we're focusing on that. And at the same time, we're trying to keep our private and professional lives different and separate. I don't normally come out and speak so much about it, but I feel it was important today because these rumors particularly will disturb our families, and that is my main concern. It's all right about me, but I'd urge the press to please take it easy a little bit.